in a trend.
Yeah.
We're forever a part of the culture. HBCU Pulse always has you on lock. From the shade room to your favorite news feed, and now on your TV and radio. We are the #1 outlet for HBCU culture. Follow HBCU Pulse on social media and visit hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, the founder of HBCU Pulse and the host of HBCU Pulse Radio, in the building for another special edition of the show. On today, I'm here. I'm back. We had our amazing content creator, Destiny, that held it down for the first couple of editions of the interviews. But I got to go in and close it out. I'm like LeBron. I got to go in and close it out, you know? And I got my Rally here on, too, because it was homecoming last week. But listen, we have some amazing interviews on today. We have Miss Tracey Battle and Miss Lynn Austin, both alumni of North Carolina A&T, and GHO is next week, I believe. So listen, it's going to be Liz going to turn up. We're going to talk to Miss Tracey Battle right now, bringing her on the stage right now. Miss Battle, how you doing today?
Hey, what's up? What's up? Good evening to you and to all. I hear you talking about you, LeBron, so I'm gonna let you close it out. How you doing?
Listen, I'm doing good, and like LeBron closes out, he does it well. Okay, LeBron closes out now.
No question there. No question there. So I'm gonna give you that today. I'm gonna give you that one today.
I love it. I love it. So, but how's everything going? It's almost GHO. How you feeling?
Man, I cannot wait for GHO. I was literally at work today trying to find the perfect outfit, the perfect Santa, the sweatshirt, all the things. Like I'm super stoked, super excited. I haven't been to GHO in a couple of years now since COVID. This is my first time back. So I'm just ready to get back to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to get back to the family cookout. I'm ready. It's family reunion time.
Listen, I already know two things. Number one, like when you're going back to your campus and you had the COVID layoff, get you to see everything's going on, you probably gonna see so much different stuff on A&T's campus. We're like, what the world is one here when I was here? And two, I understand the outfits, okay? Because I had me a Letterman jacket from College Lux, and I was at homecoming. Everyone was like, where you get that jacket from? I had to take it off. It was too hot, okay? It's too hot for me. But I tell you what, though, I went balling in this bookstore. That's what I got. That's what things I got.
Yes, I know how it is. You know, I was researching yesterday actually, and I'm like, okay, what is this weather gonna look like? What is it giving for us? What we gonna do, right? But it looks like it's gonna hold up. The GHO gods are gonna hold the weather tonight tight for us, so we're gonna be good to go. I'm really excited about going out there though. I leave next week early too, so let's go. Let's get it, you know? One
thing I found out is that North Carolina A&T is God's HBCU, so y'all be just fine. It ain't gonna rain. It ain't gonna rain on y'all. But real quick before we get started, tell everyone who you are.
So my name is Tracey. Most people know me by Tink in college, Tracey Tink Battle. I'm now discovering and going by Tracey in this professional world. But throughout my entire college career, no one knew my government name. So Tink is what I typically go by. I'm a professor at Bowie State now, and a co-author and contributor, as well as a partner to the new HBCU Experience book 5th edition. So I'm super excited about being here, talking about it, just having a good time, right? Giving some good energy. This what, 7:01, 7 o'clock? Let's get some good energy after work.
Yeah, hey, when I tell you I read your bio and I was like, you almost made me apply for a master's program because I want to be a professor. I want to be a professor low-key so bad, but I'm like, no, I do not want to go back to school. And then I just got this save plan for these loans. I think I'm good because they approved me today. I'm like,
listen, who would have thought I would have been in this situation, in this place? I had never in a million years thought I was going to be a professor. I was actually a radio DJ, radio producer for a long time after leaving A&T. That was what my major was in. But I just, transitioned. Like I said, I said last night, when spirit talks to you, got to move. And Bowie was that offer, and I took it, and I'm loving every moment of it, for real, for sure.
Hey, so let's get into it. So let's start with this. So what made you choose North Carolina A&T as your HBCU?
You know what's crazy? This is why my story is so unconventional. I had no thought and inkling to even go to college. Like that wasn't even something it was not what I was trying to do. So I'm originally from the Washington, D.C. area. In Washington, D.C., we have a lot of federal government, all types of government, right? And so I was one of those kids that in the summertime, I was able to work in like a summer federal government job. And so that was my ideal. Like, I'm gonna get me a government job. I'm gonna just stack. I'm gonna just pull up my bootstraps. I'm going to be one of these, like my mom being in government for 30 years, retiring and living her life. But some things happened in my life and my mom was like, nah, either you're going to do this or you're going to do this, right? So to be transparent with you, A&T was the only school that I applied to, right? And so, which is crazy. Yes, the only school I applied to, unbeknownst to my mom, which is so funny because like after she sees these interviews and read the chat, she's like, wait a minute, I thought you applied to more schools. Mom, it was years ago. It was years ago. Let the past be the past. Let the past be the past. Let the past be the past. But A&T for me, it was just something. When I was like applying, I was like, okay, I don't want to go too far, but I don't want to be too close as well. And I had family in North Carolina, so it was like that perfect middle point. And I had an opportunity to go to A&T for a college tour of my church. And we went, and I mean, from the moment I stepped on campus, it felt like home. It felt so grounding. I mean, all of the nerves that I had as a young person going onto that campus like went away. I met some, really, really dope individuals as far as students and some professors I was able to talk to. It felt like home from the very first moment I stepped foot on my college tour. And I knew that, if this is the opportunity for me, I'm taking it, I'm leaving, I'm getting up out of here. So that was really just, it was super unconventional, but that's how A&T became part of my legacy. And I'm really excited that I made that choice. And, I'm shout out to my mama for giving me an ultimatum.
Sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need the parents to let us know, hey, listen, this is what it's going to be, because at the end of the day, they know what's best, even when we don't realize it. And then what my parents always say is that the stuff I tell you, you're not going to realize it. You're not going to really understand it until you get older. And now I've gotten older. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You did say
that. Sometimes we can't tell them, but we in our mind, we're like, you're right. I got you. But yeah, my mom definitely put her foot down on that one. And, thankful that she did, because I don't know where I would be today if she didn't like just tell me like, this is what it's going to be and this is how we're going to move. And A&T became part of my legacy, and I'm super excited to be one of the many who call A&T home for sure.
I love it. So listen, let's talk about home. Let's talk about it. And we're going to go through all the 4 years. We're going to go year by year by year by year. All right. So let's start with freshman year. All right. So you get to A&T, the first and only school you applied for. So how was your freshman year?
My freshman year was real rough. Okay. So again, I came from the Metro DC area. So, the mentality is like really different. And it was real rough. I still was operating in a very toxic mindset, right? And I talked about that last night too. I operated in a very toxic and traumatic mindset where I was still like, knuck if you buck, what's up? Right? Let's talk about it. Like, you don't know where I'm from type of thing. And, I had one thing about A&T is like Metro Aggies was very thick. Like we had a very thick community of individuals who were in the DMV area. So DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And so, having those people there, it felt like home again. But my freshman year, even my sophomore year, to tell you the truth, it was real. It was rough as far as like socially, but I was in a journalism major. And so it was interesting because I was able to like play both sides. So in school, my professors thought I was like this amazing student. I'm always in the front of the class. I'm always answering the questions. I'm always getting my work done. I'm always asking for more. And they're like, okay. But then when we go outside, it's like, what's up? What we doing? Right. And so it was different for me because I didn't even recognize at that moment that I was operating that level of toxicity. I didn't realize it. Right. I was really operating a very clouded view and distorted view of what life feels like, sounds like, and looks like. And it wasn't until I actually, sought therapy that really changed the dynamic into my junior and senior year that really helped me cultivate the person that you see today. Someone very healed, still healing, but healed and like operating in her goddess and her greatest point every day. So it was rough, but we got through it.
I love it. I love it. I thought that's a very enlightened point of view. And I like the fact that as Black folks are starting to embrace therapy now, because it was, I think it changed with the generations that came after, like our parents' generation, because it was a taboo thing for men to seek therapy or just to go to therapy. But now I think like we just casually say, yeah, I talk to my therapist, and I think it's a good thing because it helps us in our growth.
Yo, shout out to my therapist. She is dope. I'm still going to her to this day. Different from my college therapist, but shout out to my therapist I'm using today. What really triggered me to go to therapy was like realizing that I was always mad. Like, why are you always mad, right? And like even friends would be like, "Yo, chill out. It's not that serious." I'm like, "Nah, it is that serious, right?" And so I got into a little situation in college where I had to get a lawyer, right? And I was like, "Okay, all right, you wildin'." Like that was like that stepping stone where it was like, okay, I had to ask a professor actually to be my lawyer, which is crazy. I had to get my professor to be my lawyer. And thankfully I did superbly well. Right. And so when I had that conversation with him, although he was like very surprised, he was definitely with it. It's like, okay, let's make sure this thing happens. And you don't have to do anything that is going to alter your college education. But yeah, it was that professor who was like, you may want to think about getting some help, right? Like, not to say that anything is wrong with you, but having different perspective in how we operate in life will really like propel you to the success that I see you as. And so he was one of the people who saw me in this anger space, right? But then also saw who I could be. And he was like, if you do these things, or if you try this thing, this can be able to help you propel to this, to be successful in what you want to see. And I give thanks to him too for even like speaking that level of like reassurance into me versus judging me for the decisions I was making when I was young. He was like, no, let me help you. And that's one reason why I owe A&T a lot, because it was a lot of like, let me help you through this process. Let me help develop you. I see that you have some core things that are some gaps that are missing, versus judging me or not trying to help or just shunning me off. It was more so like, let me embrace this and let me show you and tell you and help you, guide you through some of the things that you're going through. So my professors in the journalism department, Crosby Hall, shout out to the Crosby kids, shout out to Crosby Hall. Like, we grew up in there for sure.
I love it. So we're going to talk about sophomore year, but I got to ask you this. I can't wait to end the interview to ask this. So listen, you are now a professor, right? Mm-hmm. And then you essentially say your professor, came through for you in that moment. So from the student to the professor, like, how does that feel now to be on the other side where you're now the professor that's impacting the students?
I mean, it feels amazing, to be honest with you, because I am the person that I needed when I was in school. Right. And I try to embody that in everything I do. So I try to be very empathetic. I try to be compassionate. And I try to help out where I can. Now, grant you, students were trying to get over a little bit, like, come on, let's be real. And I'm holding them accountable as well, though. Right. But one of the things I tell my students all the time is like, the way I show accountability is the way I show love. So if I don't love you, if I don't, like you, then I'm not going to hold you accountable. I'm going to let you just go about your business. However, if I'm holding you accountable, and I'm talking to you and I'm kind of give you, decisions and things like that, then know that that's coming through in place of love. And so that's one thing that I think folks have to unlearn, that accountability is like this thing where it's negative. And it's like, no, it doesn't have to be negative. Like, holding folks accountable is a positive thing in their growth. Right. And so it feels amazing to be on the other side, to help students. I remember my first year being a professor, I was so scared. Like, what am I going to tell them? And it's so interesting that you asked me about the professorship, because my freshman and sophomore year was real rough. I actually teach a class about conflict resolution. Look at that 360, right? Like, I'm teaching a class about how to communicate effectively, how to solve conflict, how to use sort of practices in your conflict, like how to address those things, even like boundaries and communication and things like that through the DEI lens. And so it's just a whole 360. Like I said, Spirit just been with me the whole way. Like, I ain't gonna let you go, but you keep going this way, you might fly off. And so to be someone that I needed feels really, really good. And knowing that, like, I have students who hit me up who graduated, and it's like, man, if it wasn't for you, I don't know where I'll be. Or students who are still in the school trying to come to my class. I'm like, you took my class already. You don't need this class, right? So it feels really good to be reassured that the work that I'm doing actually matters, and folks actually are benefiting from my craft. So.
Wow. Like, that's powerful. I love it. So let's get into the sophomore year. So you talked about how, your sophomore year was also a transformative experience. So what was your sophomore year like? Like, give us a quick rundown of it.
So sophomore year, although like socially it was rough because I was still in like that mindset, I was doing really well like academically. I actually was I had a internship at WNAA and 102 Jams. So 102 Jams is like the top #1 radio station in Greensboro, and I was a production assistant. And so you know, being first of all, being a sophomore on the radio, let's be clear. Let's be clear. Like, it was really dope to experience that because I got to experience like executive broadcasting, not just in school, but on the outside too. Got to meet a lot of got to meet a lot of good people, a lot of celebrities and things like that, which kind of broadened my horizons. And also made me realize like Greensboro is such a small, I mean, I knew Greensboro was a small place, but to meet different people, different celebrities all over the world, it was just like, yo, this is just a very micro sector of like what I can experience in life. Right. And so my sophomore year was really when I made that flip. Like, it was something in my mind was like, okay, I need to do something different, right? Socially, right? Like with, you know, how I was acting with my attitude, and I had a, you know, still working on it, you know, a little temper or whatever the case may be. And having the opportunity to intern with those radio stations and having the opportunity to meet so many people, and then realizing like I'm showing up in this way here, but I'm not showing up in this way here. Like, why am I in this space where I have to feel like I have to have this shield or this blockage over me for folks who are just trying to help me? So sophomore year was really dope because the fact that I was like getting into my career in journalism really helps me cultivate like that mindset of like, okay, this is what my future is going to look like. This is what actually I'm going to be doing in the future. Like, I need to really like lock in. Right. And let nothing or no one take me out of this realm. And that was 2007. That was actually my favorite year in college, simply because I got reconnected with a long lost cousin. She came that year. I met some good people that year. And so, you know, and I had the opportunities to like build a radio station and like really travel a lot, which was really dope. So 2007, I always say, is like the best year in college I had, which is my sophomore year, coming from like that DMV girl and that mindset, then transitioning into like this woman that I'm going to become. So it was really, really dope for me to experience that. And even looking back now, I'm like, dang, like you did do that. And that's really dope for me to kind of reflect on my growth thus far.
So what's the difference between like, you know, the DMV area, like up north and down south? Because, you know, I'm from middle Georgia, and one thing I always contend with is that a lot of folks think that we're country. Like, I'm not from a town, I'm from a city. Okay, Macon, Georgia, a city, and I am not country at all. Hopefully you see I'm not country at all. So, like, you know, but honestly, like, you know, I know that it's a contrast. You know, it's a contrast of, you know, cultures and just the way that we walk and we talk, we treat each other. So what are the differences that you saw, you know, from being in the DMV and then coming out of North Carolina?
You know, firstly, I always say that like I'm a city girl, but the country stole my heart, right? So I'm back in DMV right now, but I lived in North Carolina for 8 years. I lived in Houston. I lived in Louisiana. Like, I lived in the country. When they say Southern hospitality is real, it is real. It is real. The way people treat you, the way people talk to you, the way people are friendly. I think that every place has its hustle mentality. Like, DC has a hustle mentality, but there's a hustle mentality with angst, right? Like, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of fast movement, a lot of anger. You know, people like, you know, just like trying to drive home sometimes. Like, I drive, but I typically ride the train to work because I don't want to deal with the hustle and bustle of the day of just trying to get home, or, you know, folks getting upset. And so I feel like down south, there's a lot more just like patience, right? There's a lot more patience. Sorry about that. There's a lot more patience in the South and that Southern hospitality, and people are willing to help you out. People talk to you. Like, I remember I had a house back in North Carolina in Charlotte, and I would go on my porch. I do morning meditation and stuff like that and pray. I do morning meditation and pray, and people, my next door neighbors would say good morning to me. Like, hey, good morning, or you know, pray, speak to me, things like that. They don't do that here. I don't have that same. My mom been living in the same house. My mom been living in the same house for 30 years, and in that 30 years, them neighbors don't talk to her. She knows me, a couple of them, right? But I was in North Carolina for 8 years, and I was able to talk to my neighbor every day. So even like those small little tidbits that can create change in your psyche really, really helps, right? And so I always attribute, like, I love the South. Don't get it twisted. Absolutely adore the South, the Southern hospitality. I think that people are more calm, cool, and collected there versus, coming here. And that's really the biggest thing that I've saw was like the level of patience and productivity, right? You can be productive, but if you don't have patience and you angry and you cursing folks out and all that, it doesn't sit well. It doesn't feel good, which causes anxiety for others. So I definitely think the Southern hospitality and like folks having patience and being able to like just speak and humanize yourself was that biggest difference for me. And that's why I was in the South for so long. I just moved back home in 2021. Just moved back home.
Wow. Listen, so essentially what I'm plotting out right now is that if I do go back and get my master's degree, I'm gonna get my doctorate degree, and then that's gonna be my dissertation. All right. The up north versus down south, the differences. And I'm gonna cite you in it. I'm gonna cite you in it. So I can go from a professor and change those lives. You know? All right. So let's talk about junior year. So junior year, I know for me, that was like lit year for me. I was doing everything junior year. So what was it like for you?
Junior year was dope. I pledged junior year. So I became a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated junior year. So it was dope, right? Because not only I was already like in my craft and radio, right? I already had my radio show. I already was doing production assistant with 102 Jam. So I already had like my routine and things going on. And my mom is a Delta. So I already had like Delta in my background, but I also was like, I don't want to always do and follow those. I want to kind of mark my own territory type of thing. But it was just something about the Deltas on our campus, specifically the Deltas in Crosby, right? Deltas who had classes in Crosby, who just, the way they just moved and they just did work, it was just like, yo, like I need to be a part of that, right? So I crossed my junior year. So that was really, really fun because that was a whole new territory of Greek life that I had no clue that I was entering myself in. Like I joined a sorority for service, sisterhood, and scholarship. I wanted to be around women, like-minded women who were doing great things. I wanted to be able to provide service. Like I believe that service is my debt to the God, to this world. And so that was those are some of the things that I joined or why I joined Delta Sigma Theta. But then, once I got into the organization and I had my line sisters, I had my 62 line sisters, rest in peace, Serentia, we love you always. But, when I had my line sisters, it was just a different level of like growth of just professionalism. Like my line sisters it was like we ran the yard. Like we ran the yard, like no shade to any other D9 that was on A&T's campus. But truth be told, Delta Sigma Theta, 2008, 2009, we ran the yard. Like we were in all types of president positions. We had all types of things going on. And so to be a part of that level of community really, really made me want to go harder. Like, okay, they doing this. What I need to do to make sure I'm going harder to increase, my development. So junior year was definitely a really, really dope year for me because that was my year of becoming Greek. And as I'm navigating this Greek world, getting to know new people, getting to know different things about myself and how I want to operate in this space, but also just kind of connecting with folks and there we go. My bad. So just kind of connecting with folks and being able to navigate A&T in a different world because, Greek life is totally different than just like, I don't want to say like regular life or general life, but like to separate the two, like Greek life is definitely its own ecosystem versus like the ecosystem of just the A&T. So it was definitely dope my junior year and how I was able to navigate that for sure.
So senior year is that moment that all of us work for and that we strive for. And oftentimes it's like one of the more memorable moments because you walk across that stage senior year. So what was senior year like for you?
Senior was bittersweet. To be quite honest with you, I contemplated staying another year. I contemplated being a super senior. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was bittersweet because in that moment, that's when I realized that like, okay, imposter syndrome. I am not ready. I am not ready to leave. I'm not prepared to do these things. Like, wait a minute. What do you mean I have to go? Like, what am I going to go? Where am I going to do? Right. And so I definitely contemplated extending my time at A&T one more year. But the way student loans was set up, it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. Right. So student loans was like, nah, we ain't doing that, bruh. So senior year it was really good for me. I did a lot of work off campus because at that point I had like a full blown full-time internship at 102 Jams. Like I did part-time my sophomore year, junior year, but like senior year is like, okay, listen, this is what we're doing. This was the job I had wanted to take on and move forward with. So I had to become way more serious about my career and way more serious about what I was going to do after school, because to be honest with you, it felt like time flew by. You know, time flies when you're having fun, and I had a great time. And so it felt like time flew by, where I was in a place where imposter syndrome started to sneak up on me a lot. And self-doubt started to sneak up on me a lot, because now, okay, I left home from an ultimatum to come to this school. That was really out of spite, right? I enjoyed this space and this community so much. Now I have to leave. There was a different level of anxiety that I was dealing with, a different level of, you know, just angst I was dealing with, because it was the operating unknown. I don't know what's out there in the real world. I have been in this bubble for 4 years, and this bubble has taken care of me. Like, I'm scared to even tap into what is next. And so senior year, I did a lot of work with WNAA. I did a lot of work in the community as well, because I was working with Big Brothers, Big Sisters a lot. And so I had to really find a balance between making sure that I was in the community and like learning Greensboro and learning that area, because I knew I was about to be gone, but then also still trying to tap into A&T and what my roots were in, right? And so, I had to navigate both of those. I think I did pretty well though, right? But at the same time, it was definitely scary, because, you know, I was about to be in adulthood. You know, I was about to be a real adult in my mind, right? And adulthood to me is ghetto, but, you know, we're going to make it work everywhere we go. It's the ghettoest place you can be, right? But, you know, in that moment, there was a level, I was definitely scared to like be out on my own for real, right? Because I think that like when you leave high school and go to college, you are on your own to a certain extent. But this time, like it was no one holding me back, no chains keeping me there. And it was like, okay, you really have to show up for yourself now. And senior year was one of those like moments of, okay, you got this. Let's make it happen. Let's do what we have to do. You have the skills, and really a lot of positive self-talk and a lot of help with like navigating what is next.
I love it. So before we talk about your chapter of the book, I got to double back to the professor point, because like I said, it's wild, because I wanted to be a professor, and like the problem with it is the master's degree part. That's the part that sort of is like, that ain't happening. Like, I bring me in as like a special guest lecturer or something like that. Dress it up, like make me a professor, but like put some dressing on it where I don't gotta get a master's degree. But like it is always something that's interested me, because I think that college lane, that college sector is something, because we see, you know, folks that become elementary school teachers and middle school teachers and high school teachers. But I think there's a different level of care and development that it takes to really nurture and educate and help college students. So like, how did you become like a college professor? Like, how did you get on that track for those that want to become a professor?
So firstly, I still support K-12 schools, right? I'm not going to negate my K-12 family. I still support K-12 schools. Shout out to Capital City Public Charter, one of the schools I'm supporting right now, right? But so when I was, once I graduated, I worked at 102. And 102, a lot of the time, so I was thinking about like, how do I really make money? Because yes, radio production makes money, but you got to be like a dope syndicated podcast or syndicated like show, right? Breakfast Club, stuff like that. Angie Martinez, stuff like that. I wasn't there, but I knew I wanted money, right? And so I had the opportunity to go to UNCC actually up in Charlotte. And so I had opportunity to go to UNCC for urban education master's degree. And so let me give you this. So I wanted to teach K-12 students radio. I wanted to give back by teaching high school students how to do radio production. That was my next goal. And so I did that for a little while. And then when I had opportunity to work in restorative practices. And so that's my bread and butter now, is like restorative practices and doing DEI consulting. And one of my colleagues had a connection with the professor at Bowie, or the dean at Bowie, and we connected through restorative practices. And I was working with their institute for a while, just doing some contract work with them. And he was like, you ever thought about being a professor? I was like, no. I ain't trying to, like, no, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, I think you would be really good at it, because people just relate to you. People kind of like swarm to you. And I think that, you know, you would have a great opportunity or great impact for our students. We are opening up, we are creating a conflict resolution course. And I was like, Dr. Adams, you don't know who I am if you ask me to do conflict resolution. Like, I really said it to him, like, you don't know me for real. If you think that I'm going to be well. He was like, no, I think that you would be good. Again, right? Like, key point here. I had a professor at an HBCU who reassured me, who spoke into me, that helped me realize my potential. And so I went to a couple of the classes that were already in place and wanted to kind of see the dynamics and things like that. And so from there, I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this. And I applied, and Dr. Adams definitely helped me get to where I am today, and continuously working with Bowie State. So it was definitely unconventional, and I was working through some contract work with something else, and it kind of landed me in that space to support students. And then at the end of the semester, when students have to do the surveys, and I'm always getting all these good reports and good surveys. They're like, you ain't going nowhere. Where you think you go? Where you think you're going? And who's gonna take a 5 to 7 p.m. class? Who gonna be the professor to do that? Right? You one of the only ones who gonna take that late night class. Them 4 to 6, them 5 to 7. So listen, I'm gonna need for you to stay up on this track, right? And so, kind of having again that network, that reassurance, and someone in a HBCU dean actually spoken to me and helped me realize my potential and how I can be effective in the college atmosphere.
Wow. And I tell you what, you're right with the 5 to 7 classes now, because I had me 2 straight. I was the mass comm major. Mr. Rashidi, we had them 5 to 7 classes. You had to make sure you got to the CAF, because the CAF will be closed by the time you get out of that class. And then you try to walk over to the Chick-fil-A. And then by the time you get to Chick-fil-A, that chicken ain't Chick-fil-A, and I'm telling you.
No, it's not. And listen, I'm the professor gonna keep you in there the whole time too. We're gonna use all of my time. Okay. I'm that one. So if you don't want to be there from 7 o'clock, we're gonna be in there the entire time. Like, yes, because I think it's something really impactful to like make sure that like we are utilizing the time that we have to be able to really grow. Right. And so grant you, I don't think my class is boring because it's packed every semester. Right. But I also think that it's important that we get the biggest bang for our buck, and you get everything I'm able to offer. Like, I am the person that I needed. And so I offer that support to my students as much as I can. But we in there all night. We in there. Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, if it's lit, you'll never know. I mean, like you have those classes that you're interested in, mm-hmm. and it's like, I mean, where else would you want to be? Because it's sometimes we have those late classes, and it's like, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's 8 o'clock. I mean, what else I got to do? You know what I'm saying? What better I do anyway?
That's interesting that you say that, because like I said, my classes are typically packed, and like folks like to be in there. Like, I got students who bring their friends to our class.
Yeah, that's something that happens. That happens.
Like, welcome, cousin. What's up? Right?
Like, that happens. Why I tell you that happens? Because it's just like, might as well. And then that's the freedom of college, because that's one thing you cannot do in high school. If it's someone new in your class, no, get out my class.
Get out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we're not doing that. In college, no, come on in. Take a seat. You want to test as well? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to do this homework assignment as well? Why don't you start us out with the example? You know what I'm saying? Listen, as you can see, professorship. Listen, you might inspire me to get a master's degree. I tell you what. But
I think you can have the ability to create your class how you want to create it. I don't lecture the entire time. Like, we are in circle. We are talking. We are hitting. Like, I literally call my class the conversation party. Like, we're having conversation, but through conversation, we're talking about conflict resolution. We're talking about coping mechanisms. We're talking about that DEI pieces that we need to be able to operate. We're talking about all those things. And I find that my students actually do much better on the midterms and finals if we're just kind of engaging in conversation and just humanizing ourselves to learn in that way. And so I learned that when I was teaching K-12, right? Of like getting in circle and like really having conversations with folks and kind of getting down to on their level type of thing. And it worked in K-12 and it works in college. And so that's why when people come to my class, I'm like, hey, come on, what's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, and welcome them in. But, it can be a lot, right? Because if I had 15 folks in my class and next thing I know, I got 25 kids, it's like 25 students, like, hey, wait a minute, we buying dinner or something? Like, what we doing, right? But I do enjoy what I'm doing. And I actually like, when they bring folks, it let me know that I'm doing something right. right? You don't always get recognition by saying, okay, you're this, you're that, you're doing great, and I don't need that type of recognition, but the recognition that I do hold true to my heart is when they're bringing others into my class who experience what they're experiencing. And that's what I really want to create. I want to create a safe space, and I want to create a dope experience so folks can say, be like me, like Dr. Styles and Dr. Wiggins. Folks can remember, Professor Battle was my professor. I want to be able to cultivate and create that for my students as well.
Hey, listen, I love it. So let's close out with this. So tell us about your chapter in the HBCU experience, the North Carolina A&T State University 5th edition, releasing really soon. It's coming out in a little bit. It's going to be really lit. So real quick, tell us a little bit about your chapter and what we can expect.
So you can expect for anyone who, is unconventional in their desires about HBCUs. I didn't feel like I went the normal route, like I spoke about earlier. You'll also learn about, who Tink is and who Tink was and where Tink was cultivated and how that was created at A&T, right? And like how I was able to navigate and code switch in school and outside with my friends, because in class I was Tracey, but in outside with my folks, I was Tink. And so you're able to kind of really see that version of me. But then you'll also see the evolution, right, of this woman who was operating in a very clouded and toxic environment, and what I did to navigate that to be in the space of healing today, right? And I think that's really important for folks to understand, is that, healing can happen, and healing is a journey. It's a continuous journey as we navigate it. And that's one of the things that my chapter will display and exude, is that, we can operate this way, but we have to also understand that, and also like work towards creating difference. And so, and it talks about like how A&T became my sanctuary, and how I was able to really grow in a different way that I didn't even see for myself, and how others were able to see me in a different light. And so it just kind of gives you a glimpse of that unconventional student who went to A&T and rebranded, rebuilt, and recreated her image and recreated herself. And now it's now giving back to students in a way in another HBCU. It's not A&T, but it's another HBCU.
I love it. I love it. Listen, this is an amazing interview. See, and this interview is really the preview of your class. You feel me? Like, people go watch this, you're like, I need to get that done rolling buoy. So they need to get in her class. Like, let's do it. Listen. But before we go, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so you can find my business page at Restore2Rebuild, or you can find me at www.restore2rebuild.org. If you have any questions or anything like that, please DM me or check me out on my website. I am open to supporting anyone who needs, support in conflict resolution and providing some skills. So definitely check me out on Instagram, Restore2Rebuild, or www.restore2rebuild.org, excuse me.
Hey, listen, .com.org, it gets tricky. Trust me, I know. All right. But listen, thank you so much for coming on, Tracey. And listen, we cannot wait to read your chapter. And thank you so much just for all you're doing in this HBCU space to uplift the students out here. We really need you, and I really appreciate you.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. Peace.
No problem. Thank you so much for coming on. All right. We're going to go in and keep this train rolling. That was an amazing interview. So listen. It's still Aggie Pride out here. It's still, listen, you got the homecoming next week, greatest homecoming on earth. G-Ho, I know some schools might have something to say about it. All right. But that's what it is. Do you have the brand for the greatest homecoming on earth? We'll wait. But listen, we have Miss Lynn Austin in the building. She's a North Carolina A&T State University graduate. She's coming on. And when I say, she is dripped out. Like, she got the Letterman jacket. I love me a Letterman jacket now. Let's go on and bring her on. You see the outfit. Look at the Letterman jacket. Now that's real deal. I see cheerleader. I see cheerleader. That's real deal. See, she didn't buy that from the store. Like they gave her for. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like she worked for that. I love it. I bought mine for College Lux. Okay, it didn't have the leather on it. Okay, like that. That's how you know it's real. It got the leather on it. But how you doing today?
You're cracking me up. I'm doing all right. How are you today?
That's how you know it's real. When we got the leather on it, that's when you know you earned it. You earned the leather.
I earned it. I'm looking for the initials because they put my initials in it.
There you go. Listen, you earned the leather. You bought the wool. Okay, that's like cheers for. Hey, listen, student leadership. We love
to see. I can still get into it after all these years. It's the blessing for me. It's that I can get back in it for me. Okay.
Facts. Hey, listen, trust me. I totally understand. Life get different. Like, you know what I'm saying? I totally get it. But listen, like the book is coming out really soon. How are you feeling? How's everything going? And then homecoming is next week. So how are you feeling?
I know. I'm so mad I can't come. I'm so upset. I know.
What?
I'm working for a new TV show out here, and it's literally on call. So I have to be available. So I can't go out of town, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have been there.
I mean, what? In that case, it's still homecoming, still, because listen, like you're a successful alumni making it happen. You want an anti-successful alumni, so you don't gotta pull up. They know what's up.
I know. I did want to get on that track though. I did.
I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. Believe you making it happen. Listen, you probably making money to get back to A&T, so it's all good. You know. Listen, it's because y'all got an alumni base number. Y'all got y'all something. I'm telling you, all them buildings. I'm telling you, someone got to pay for them now. Listen,
shout out to you with all these back-to-back interviews, honey. My throat would have been dry. Look. So kudos to you. And this plant trying to beat me up.
Oh my gosh! Well, I appreciate that. It comes with the job.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. But let's go ahead and get into it. So let's talk about what made you choose North Carolina A&T as your HBCU.
Honestly, I'm the first one in my family to go to an HBCU, so it was the closest HBCU to me. I'm originally from Charlotte, and I just wanted to be successful, and whatever that encountered, I just had to do it. And I tried a couple colleges, and I don't know, it was just something that hit home for me. Like when I went to go visit the campus, because I didn't just get accepted and go. You know, you got to go to orientation and stuff like that. And I went to a couple, and A&T just stuck with me. And look at it. Look how amazing it's grown over the years. So I'm just happy to be a part of this organization.
And I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I'm searching Charlotte to Greensboro to see how far it is. Hour 30 minutes. Okay, so because I was about to say because I've been to North Carolina once, and it's crazy to say that because it's crazy to hear folks say they've been to Atlanta once. So it's crazy to say I'm from the South, but I've been to North Carolina once. But I've been to Greensboro. I went to Greensboro in 2020, right before the pandemic, came on A&T's campus. So I know that that's generally in the area, and a lot of folks want to leave and go other places and go to other schools.
And they have a school there. They have a school there, but I didn't want to go. Like I said, this was new to me. So I didn't want to go somewhere and not that home would help me, but I just didn't want to go too far. I just didn't have any mentors. I didn't know what to expect. So, and then choosing there, I just knew I would do good anywhere I went. But A&T, when I went, it was just something that stuck out to me that really hit home. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna go with my gut, because I do that a lot. I go with my gut. Go with your gut, y'all.
Listen, that's the best way to do it. And listen, your gut decision worked out because you were Miss Morrison. You cheered on the varsity and competition squad. You were interning, pledge Alpha Phi Omega. So you did a lot of amazing things on campus. So let's really just walk through that time and go year by year. Tell us about your freshman year.
My freshman year was just all over the place. But one thing I did know is I didn't want to get that freshman 15 or freshman 10. So what I did was I made sure because I ran track in high school, but I don't know what it was about track. I just did not want to pursue it, but I was so good at it. But I pursued cheerleading, and tryouts are crazy because they require a back handspring or a back tuck, and I couldn't do either one. But after the tryouts, they seen how many times I fell on my head and messed up. You can laugh. It's okay. You can laugh. It's okay. So they seen the ambition, and they seen how, strong I was and consistent and resilient I was. And, they put me on the team, and I was there all 4 years on the competition squad, all 4 years, even helped the up and coming girls get on the team. So it became a really nice community to be a part of. And then, being Miss Morrison, I think that was my sophomore year. I just wanted to be more active, in the HBCU community, because that's where the fun is. You could go to school and go to your dorm, but it's no fun. You got to be a part of the movement, So yeah.
Exactly. Like, listen, and that's the part that a lot of folks have to understand is that you can't be stagnant. Like, it's not high school, you
No.
know. And we tell freshmen that, like, when like I was orientation lead, we tell freshmen, like, don't stay in your dorm, get out. That's the brilliance of that college experience, because you're gonna miss all of that if you're not going on campus events, if you're not engaging on campus, because that's where the true HBCU experience is. But I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
So we see the typical media depiction of the cheerleader, right? Of the popular cheerleader, and they all the different places, like the eye of admiration. Was that what, you know, the cheerleading squad of North Carolina A&T was during your time?
Hell no, all we did was work out. They was kicking our butt. What you talking about? We had 6 a.m. workouts. We had afternoon stuff. We had games, and then we had competition practice. They kept us busy, honey. I had a whole 8-pack. We have time to have no fun, but we squeezed it in there. You know, we had some you know, girl nights out and stuff like that. But it is a little bit, yeah.
So when you walked into CAF with the 8-pack, well, folks was like, "Oh my gosh, that's Lynn." Yeah. Like, were they like that?
You know what? I wish social media was out back then. All we had was the pictures you take with the camera, and you got to go print out, or a professional camera that you got to wait months for. Okay, y'all don't know about that. If it happened at a game, it's on Instagram. We had to wait months for professional pictures. Like, I wish it was out, but it was really attention is on us. I could definitely say that, if you do good or if you do bad, especially during homecoming, because we were literally on the field, and basketball season is worse because it's flooded. Okay. And if you mess up or fall, you're going to get laughed at.
Yeah, that's how it is. Black folks very honest, okay?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you
dang, like that.
But you want to know the worst part about it, when they start clapping, you fall, they start clapping.
Nah, they ain't clap for us.
They do that in New Jersey. It's like if you drop a plate in the cab, they don't even laugh. They just start clapping.
That's nice.
But no, it's not nice at all. It's patronizing. It's not nice at all. I never did it. Because when I'm not going to drop my food in the cab now. Not because I'm trying not to be embarrassed, because I'm hungry. So I'm not going to drop my food in the cab. But folks did it. But I've seen it happen before, and folks just start clapping. It's like, bro, y'all are so petty. You know what I'm saying?
But that's part of being in the HBCU, and it makes you stronger. It does.
It definitely does. So sophomore year. So you say you became Ms. Morris the sophomore year. So what were some other things that you did sophomore year? And what was that like for you?
I can't. All of that was a big blur. Just doing all of those things. I just wanted to be the best at anything that I could participate in, but cheerleading definitely took up most of my time. I also had a job, so I worked at a law firm as well as an internship. So in addition to pledging and going to class and doing all those things, but just, you know, socializing with my fellow Aggies, that's something that you always want to do, because those are friendships and relationships that will last you a lifetime. So it may feel uncomfortable, you know, just walking around campus by yourself, but it'll definitely pay off, you know. And I recommend everybody stay on campus at least 1 year. Like, everybody's like, oh, I don't want to stay on campus. Do it for at least 1 year just to get that experience. You're not too bougie. You can do it.
Yeah, like, not too bougie at all, because you got to pay rent. Like what? Like,
I don't want to pay rent now. Okay.
And then on top of that, the part of people don't understand when it comes to staying on campus is that also not only do you have to pay rent, you also have to pay for gas when you can have a car, or you got to figure out how you gonna get to campus with someone riding with you, your roommate, or you got Uber and Lyft now, and that's money too. Versus staying on campus, being on the scene, it'd be late night activities.
You can just walk.
And then late night activities too. Well, late night activities, you don't gotta, oh, I'm sleepy, I gotta make sure I get home safely. No, you walk to.
I don't think I did. I sleeps after college, okay? They talk about that beauty rest. What rest? Okay. I didn't get it.
So, okay, let me ask this then. So, how did you function as a student and an athlete? So, student athlete, we know that's the phrase.
You have to prioritize your time. You have to be, you know, just, okay, I'm doing this, and this, and this. And you have to plan out your day before your day even starts. And sometimes things overlap, and you just got to figure it out. but you have to organize your time, and you have to also have balance and understand, okay, well, I did this, now let me do this. You can't just wing it. I tried that. It didn't work.
So was there a point in time in both your student leader and cheerleading journey where you felt like stressed, where you like, I don't want to do this anymore? Have you felt like that before? As far as
what? Even though you feel that way, you don't entertain it, because anything worth having, you have to work for it, and God will stretch you, and stretching hurts, so you have to just stay consistent at your goal and don't let any distractions get in the way of the ultimate goal. And that's with anything. That's with entrepreneurship. That's with going to school. That's with graduating. That's with being in the sports. Like, don't let nothing get in your way, just stay consistent and be about your goal. That's it.
I love it. So real quick, junior year. So what was junior year like? You said it was a blur. What's junior year like?
Junior, I was ready to get out of there. Junior year, I was ready to get out of there. And, the crazy part is that I decided I didn't want to be a cheerleader anymore. One of the worst mistakes in my life, and my senior year, I was like, okay, I don't want to do this no more. I'm going to go on a dance team. And when I got off, it was like I regretted it instantly, so my whole senior year, I was like, can I get back on? And then eventually she did. But you just you can't feed into those, oh, I don't want to do it, or those negative impulses. You just got to stay positive and just stick with it. You got to stick with it.
So let me ask you this. So what made you want to quit the cheer team?
It was just hard. It was really hard. It was a lot of work. Like when I tell you, you have to give 100% to even perform. And then as well as, just being on a team with all women. And like you said, it can be catty. But you can't let any of that get to you. And I'm blessed, that I got a second chance to do it, but you don't ever want to give into it, and you don't let any distractions get in your way of your ultimate goal. So I'm just happy everything worked out how it was, but y'all stay strong out there, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what was the second stint of it like? You come back after the break. What was that like? Did you have a renewed energy around it?
I did. I was just it's like once you do something for so long, you take it for granted, but you can't do that, because nothing is guaranteed, and you're not owed anything, What do they call it? Entitlement? Like, you're not owed anything. Like, you have to earn and work for everything. And that's why I'm such a successful entrepreneur now, because I do multiple things, and undergrad helped mold me to be able to do multiple things as an entrepreneur. Because if I didn't hold all those titles in undergrad, then I wouldn't be able to do it now as an entrepreneur with all these roles. Because when you're an entrepreneur, honey, you got to be Sally, Jesse, Kim, Mike, and Susan. Hello. Yes, this is Susan. Hold on. Hi, this is Susan. Like, you got to be you everybody, you shipping department, you customer service, so you just gotta do what you gotta do, and don't give up, and don't let nothing get in your way, and be consistent.
So senior year. So you said junior year you want to go and get out of there, but what was senior year like for you?
Senior year was awesome. It was kind of hard though, because I had some teachers hating on me, trying to give me a D, and I was like, wait a minute, hold up. So I had to get the art of negotiation, and I had to figure out what I had to do. And once I figured that out, it was just, and then financial aid. Wee. It will cut your financial aid off so quick.
It will.
And you have to do whatever you need to do to just make sure all your paperwork is on time. But who remember a refund check? The refund checks hit hard.
Yeah, they did. But the point of them was not to spend them. It was
it wasn't. But we did.
Yeah, because the smart, like folks that was smarter than me would save them.
I don't know anybody who did that, but I wish I did.
There were some like there are some, and it really be their parents saying no, don't.
Exactly,
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I didn't have mother and father in my ear helping me. It was like literally like an experience that I never heard of. No one I knew had graduated, so this was all new for me. So the mistakes I made, now that I have a 4-year-old daughter and I have a 10-year-old son, and when they go to college, I'm going to be able to help them with the do's and the don'ts. It's always good to have somebody in your ear, a good mentor.
Yeah. Like and that's the word. That's everyone's favorite word at college, mentor.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You do. It's just sometimes how I look at mentorship is that you have to be in the right space to do it.
Yo, yeah, you gotta receive it too.
And you have to receive it as well. And I feel like sometimes people like the title of mentor, but don't do the work.
Oh, most
definitely. You know what I mean?
And that's a lot of work.
And that's why I'll always like when people will say mentor, it's like, are you really a mentor? Or are you doing it for show to say I got all these mentees? Like that's the part I always didn't like about it.
And I see that a lot.
Exactly. And I used to call that. I'm like, are you really being a mentor? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you really? And then on top of that, and then people want to be like, hey, can you be my mentor? I'm like, for real? Because I'm like, are you gonna listen? And then I'm like, don't call me mentor, mentee. You like a brother or a sister. I don't because I didn't want to feel like I'm just so much over you. I'm your mentor. Like, that no.
Part, yeah,
you know?
That's right. Like, I completely understand. And definitely people what do they call it? They abuse titles.
There we go.
Boss, CEO, mentor, like
Yeah, like it's just that like listen, this interview about you. We ain't about to talk about me and mentors, okay? like because I can go I can go for a little minute about mentors, but
you got some experience.
So, like, how did it feel with all the things that you did on campus? How did it feel when you finally crossed that stage?
Oh my gosh, it was just like, wow, I actually did it. Like, I accomplished something. And it's hard to keep that same energy 4 years. Like, I want to go to college. And then a year in, you're like, damn, I made this long commitment. Like, this is a long commitment. And to just finally just accomplish that. And to get that plaque, I think I got mine in here somewhere. I think it's over there. You know, showed y'all. Look, I earned this. Okay. So just to have that and have that piece of paper and just to have that experience. The experience is everything. The paper doesn't mean anything. It's that experience. Because like I said before, having all those roles in my life prepared me for what I do now. I'm in the beauty industry now, and I have multiple services. I have multiple products. So you have to be able to master and monitor your time and organize your time. Okay. So yeah, I was happy, honey.
Listen, you got the Letterman jacket with the leather on it, and then you got the plaque.
And you know what's crazy? I earned 4 championship rings and I don't have any of them.
What?
Appreciate y'all stuff because I moved around so much and I just didn't care about like I don't know.
Your championship rings?
Yes, 4.
You gotta find those. No,
4.
That was a champion. Like, do you realize like that's the same amount of championship rings LeBron got and Shaq. At least for now for LeBron. LeBron will win another one. But but it's like no. No,
I feel so bad, and I'm just like, where are my rings? And I have no idea.
Have you checked the pocket of the Letterman jacket? It might be in there.
I did. Hopefully it magically appear. Let me rub it. Wait.
Let him rub the board. Cause not the championship rings. Like what? 4 of them. Yeah. Like and A&T got money, so it was probably like diamond, weren't they?
Yeah, they were really
like they was diamond and gold, got Aggie dog on the
Yeah, I got this though. I held on to these 2. But I said, all right.
Listen, if it was me, I would have had on a regular jacket and them 4 rings.
Yep.
Because like when it comes to championship stuff, like my team might not be a champion, but if I can get a replica ring or something, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be a part of the champion team.
If anybody knows how to get your rings replicated, is that what you call it?
Yeah, replicated. Yeah.
Let me know because I need to know. I need all my rings. Okay, I'll pay for it.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know this is the rival school, but when North Carolina Central won the Celebration Bowl, I almost ordered me a ring. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was ordering me.
No facts. No, I feel you.
I was like, I picked y'all with Deion Sanders. I deserve a ring. Because everybody was like, no, Deion, Jack State gonna beat. I'm like, no, North Carolina Central. And what happened? You know, so I'm like, give me a ring.
You were right. You earned that ring. You claimed it.
Right.
I remember when we drove to FAMU and we lost the football team, and then the cheerleaders lost too because the band was so loud that we couldn't even hear our own band. So we couldn't even cheer. So it was a double loss. Yeah, it was real bad.
What the world? That's
like my freshman and sophomore year. I don't think they did too good, the football team. But then my junior and senior year, oh honey, they was champions. They did really good.
Because I do some sports history a little bit.
Yeah.
So what was the freshman soft for you? Was it like 2008, 2009?
You gonna give away my age, but yeah.
That was that 27 game losing streak. So yeah, that was.
It was exactly.
Yeah.
It was a losing streak. It was really bad.
Because that was right before Rob Broadway got there and turned it around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know my I gotta know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what's crazy? Even though they were losing, that Aggie pride was still there.
Gotta be.
Like y'all still supporting. You know what I'm saying? Even though we was losing, they was right there, first row, clapping.
But you gotta be though, because it's like that. That's all the team and the school has is like the students, and then and you can't be fake because like when you go to a college, you can't be fake when it comes to your fandom because that's your school. Because how does it look? You weren't going when y'all were losing, but Rob Broadway get there, y'all went in celebration bowls, and now you at the game. That looks crazy.
Yep, it does. It is. Yep.
Because that's your school.
Yeah, that's your school. Yeah, exactly. And that's basically, I loved it for us because it was like they were supportive when they were losing, but then when they started winning, the support was even crazier. Like it was just awesome to just see all this support. So I'm honored to be a part of that HBCU.
Yeah. So listen, I know that your chapter is going to be lit. It's going to be a movie at this point. And it might be a movie produced by you at this point. You know what I mean? So like tell us about your chapter, what we can expect from your chapter in the book.
I just wanted to, give hope and, just history on my experience so I can, help the next person that is possibly wanting to go to A&T and they need to hear someone else's experience because I didn't have that, so I didn't know. I just literally went in blindfolded, having faith that God would lead me in the right direction. So I just broke down all of the things that I did, why I did it, and how it helped me now as a beauty entrepreneur. And I still explain and teach how that helped me in my lifestyle today. So my chapter will just break it down and then it'll talk about where you can follow me and keep up with me and all that beauty stuff,
Hey, listen, you got to have the plug in, you know what I'm saying? Because listen, we see the outfit, you know what I mean? I'm not a makeup person, but I know that looks good.
It's red lip.
I see it.
It's from my brand, Looks of Vanity. Make sure you all go to looksofvanity.com. You can get you a red lip,
Not you got lipstick too, man. Listen, you rich, aren't you? Aren't you rich? You got money. You got money. I'm telling you.
I got products. How about that?
Products that turn to money.
It does.
Like, man, listen, A&T. I was talking to that because I do have Destiny, one of our content creators. She was doing interviews before, and she was like, "Man, A&T do it up." I'm like, "That's A&T for you."
Yeah, you gotta come to homecoming with that drip on, y'all. Now, don't come out there looking crazy.
You cannot do that at A&T. Everybody dress nice at A&T. Yes. So no, you cannot do that. But listen, it was amazing talking to you. It was a very fun interview. So before we go, let's tell everyone that they can support you because you have so many amazing things going on. So first your social media, and then how we can support you and grow your brand.
Well, I just want to let you know you did a great job.
Thank you.
Second, you can go to follow me on Instagram. It's Lovely Lynn MUA, and it's also Looks of Vanity is my business page as well. If you want to purchase some products or book a service, because we do makeup and photography services, you can go to looksofvanity.com. And if you want to purchase some products, you can go to looksofvanity.com too. But follow me on YouTube too. You might learn a thing or two about how to put your own makeup on. I did this in 15 minutes.
Hey, listen, make it happen. I want to just say for everybody watching, all right? Yeah.
Make sure y'all.
If you see her championship rings, DM her.
I wish. I hope so.
If you happen to come across them, if you family, just DM her. All right. Yeah. She got them. She has lipstick. She got the money. Okay. She did it 15 years. She got the money at this point. You gotta let them know. I'm telling you, let them know that, and them champions are ready to show up at your door when you walk out tomorrow.
Look, I got a reward for who can find me rings. Okay.
Like the champions rings are show up in a box with a Cash App tag. That's you know what I'm saying? Just send them.
All you got to do is put some money to it. Ain't that
Oh my God. Listen, this was so amazing talking to you. Listen, the HBCU Experience, North Carolina A&T State University, 5th edition is coming out really, really soon. We're dropping that trailer really soon, and we're super excited to read your chapter. And listen, thank you so much for coming on, Lynn.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right, have a good rest of your night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Listen, hey, man, this was fun. This is how you close it out. So listen, the HBCU Experience, the North Carolina A&T State University 5th edition is coming out. I'm hearing tomorrow. So I'm hearing, tomorrow's going to be all up. So make sure y'all check that out. And listen, amazing group of guests we've had. First and foremost, before I get out of here, before everybody goes, I want to say shout out to Destiny. Listen, Destiny Kerr, Xavier University of Louisiana. She's one of our content creators. Going to see her doing a whole lot more here on YouTube, holding down the interviews, doing an amazing job. I stepped up. She tagged me in to do the final interviews, but always amazing interviews, always an amazing book. Y'all make sure to check out the book and buy the book when it comes up on Amazon. And yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, we'll see you on the other side.
Like what you hear?
Yeah.
Subscribe to HBCU Pulse Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, head to hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community. Thank you for listening to